Hey everyone, it's Mike from Destinations to Travel, coming to you live today from Universal's Islands of Adventure. And I am not alone today. I have Helen with me again. Hey Helen.
Hey Mike, how's it going today?
It is great, aside from these ominous clouds and a little bit of rain we just got in the last few minutes. But luckily that means it's not. Yeah, hopefully it holds off because it feels like it's stopped now. And it also, luckily means it's not so hot out today. It has been getting hot lately here. Hi, Randy. Hi, Steven. Hi, Tom. So we are here at Universal's Islands of Adventure today because this past few days, the Velocicoaster, which you can see right across the lagoon here, has been open for annual pass holder previews. And I was lucky enough, as the Hulk just kind of roars past me over here. But I was lucky enough to check out the Velocicoaster a couple days ago, so I wanted to share my insights on this new attraction. It's incredibly fun. That's it. I'll just stop right there. It's incredibly fun.
Well, it looks awesome.
Yeah, it's so looking at this, is this something you would, is this the kind of attraction you would experience when you're here?
Well, I'm a definitely do it once kind of guest.
Okay.
and then decide after. But as long as it doesn't swirl upside down too much, I'm usually in.
Gotcha. And I see Randy's comment here. I will say as spoiler free as I can. Don't worry, I won't share any exact details. But I am going to give a little bit of insight here. It's incredibly fun. It's not as intense as it looks. I expected, and here it goes right now over that top hat there. Looking at this, it looks like a very intense coaster. And especially just being right across the lagoon from the Incredible Hulk, which is one of the most intense coasters I've ever been on anywhere. I definitely expected it to be, the kind of coaster that I get off of and kind of done for the day. It was not that at all. And here's another one of the coolest parts as it goes by right there. I got off of this and I could have gone right back on it. It's very smooth. It doesn't rock you back and forth. There's actually, and I know people are going to have mixed feelings about this, but there's no shoulder restraints on this coaster. So you do a couple of inversions. I want to say 3 inversions actually, because there's this one right here, this roll right here. There's an inversion right over here somewhere, and then I think there might be one more over in the corner there. So there are upside down parts of this coaster, and without a shoulder restraint, that's a little bit weird, but it makes it a lot more comfortable. And you're not rattling your head back and forth between the shoulder restraints, which is really, really nice. You come off of it feeling, or at least I came off of it feeling completely fine. So it's definitely something I will, as soon as it's completely open, which it opens June 10th, it's something I will experience again and again, that's for sure. And I think, like you said, Helen, being somebody who would try it once, I think people like you will end up really liking this attraction and have it being one of their, staples of all of their visits.
Well, that's good news. I like Rock and Roller Coaster over at Hollywood Studios, but I do find that restraint definitely rocks my head to the point where I'm a one and done on that.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because I would actually say that Rock and Roller Coaster, in terms of intensity, is a step up. I think this is a little bit less intense. You'll come off of this feeling, just much better than you do when you come off a Rock and Roller Coaster. I mean, it helps too that this is brand new. It's not even open yet. So that's going to make it much smoother than other attractions that have been around for years. But I think that will stand the test of time. That it's just a very smooth coaster and not as rattling as some others.
Well, that's exciting. I think you get a broader audience when you have that.
Absolutely. And I need to say too that the queue for this attraction is incredible. I won't share any spoilers on that, but there are a lot of really cool details throughout the queue. Just lots of stuff to see, and it's very fun. The one detail that I do want to talk about though in the queue is they use double-sided lockers. So in a lot of coasters and a lot of the attractions here at Universal actually require you to use lockers because they'll put you through a metal detector. You can't have any loose items in your pockets or anything like that. What they did here, one, they put the lockers at the end of the queue, so you can still enjoy the whole queue, get your pictures, your videos with all the experiences in there. And two, because it's double-sided, you are getting your stuff into a locker on one side and taking it out of the other side. So that completely relieves all of the traffic that you would get from people going back after the attraction and, combining with the crowd going on to the attraction. So it's a very convenient feature that I'm hoping and thinking we will see a lot more of in the future.
Sounds like someone's really thinking this time.
Absolutely, yeah. It is funny how, these theme parks have been around for so long, and yet they're still fixing problems like this with every new enhancement and attraction that we get.
That's awesome.
So yeah, those are my thoughts on Velocicoaster. Now we're just going to go ahead and take a little bit of a walk around. I'm actually going to head over to Toon Lagoon. We'll get another little close look at to see if we can see it testing from a little bit closer. Hopefully we don't get rained on again anymore, so you can just have a nice walk around Islands of Adventure today.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
And you can see Helen's email address there on the screen. She can set you up with your Universal Orlando vacation.
Absolutely.
Now, you have been to Universal Studios Florida, but not to Islands of Adventure, correct?
That is correct. That is correct.
So I'm excited to share a look around the park with you a little bit. We're actually not going to do a complete lap because there's a bit of a dead zone back in Jurassic Park and into the Wizarding World over there that I tend to lose connection. So we're going to avoid that part today. One other thing I do want to do, though, if we can work in, if we have some time, I'm going to actually head out onto City Walk, and we're going to check out two of the newer stores here in City Walk. The Universal Studios store that just opened a couple weeks ago, and then the Universal Studios Legacy store we'll go check out as well.
Sounds great. I'm all about the shopping when I'm on vacation, so that's good.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to avoid, that's for sure. I see Steven is asking, is Toon Lagoon like Toontown? Yeah, pretty similar concept. It's all water-based over there. So the attractions are all, there's like a log flume and then a rapids ride. Really, really fun attractions. So we'll get over there and take a look around. Now, those of you who have been watching for a long time know I'm a huge Marvel nerd. This is my favorite area in pretty much any park. So I love the attractions. I love Incredible Hulk, obviously, which is right behind me. Like I said, it is a very intense coaster. That's a one and done for me, for sure.
I'll probably give it a try, but I'm not holding out any hope.
Now, what about this one right around the corner over here? I'll get you a look in just a second. Do you do attractions like this?
Probably once. Yeah, I'll do it once.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I love Dr. Doom's Fear Fall. It's a very simple attraction, obviously. It's just straight up and down, but very fun. One of my favorites. You get an awesome view of the park, especially when there are new projects going on, like Velocicoaster, and you can see the updates on construction and stuff like that. So I love attractions like this.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I probably will love that ride. I'm a big fan of Tower of Terror.
Okay.
With the drops. So, yeah, it looks like something I would probably like.
I see Robert says not me. Rob also threw out the idea of live streaming the water attractions. I would love to do that, but I need a waterproof gimbal, I think. That might not work out all that well. Definitely something I'd like to try in the future, though, if we can figure out a way to do it.
Where there's a will, there's a way, Mike. The crowds look okay today.
Yeah, it's we're at a point now where it's very busy on weekends. You might see the parks at capacity on weekends, but during the week, it's very manageable.
Rob's gonna wear some ponchos.
Yeah, that is a possibility. All right, we're heading out of Marvel Superhero Island here, and now we're going to cross over into Toon Lagoon. By the way, we were just here last week for Mardi Gras over at Universal Studios Florida. That is done now. They are back to normal after what felt like the longest Mardi Gras because it kept getting extended.
Which is great if you were trying to get there and you thought, oh, I'm just going to miss it. You were pleasantly surprised, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, on the other hand, and I mentioned this last week during last week's video, we being locals, we were like, okay, we got to get out to Mardi Gras one more time before it ends. And so we did that, and then they extended it. And then we tried to get out one more time before it ended again, and then they extended it again. Oh, I don't know if you can hear that thunder.
Ooh. That's definitely not good news.
I see the comments up on the screen, but I'm just staring right into a glare on my phone right now, so I'm struggling to read that.
Kevin, so it looks like you're asking about Mardi Gras, and those dates are usually, I believe, right around whenever Easter falls. They have that Fat Tuesday kind of thing, and will vary, but usually February is a safe bet. Into March, definitely.
Yeah, February into March is the typical Mardi Gras time. Who knows how long they'll do it from now on, because I mean, it definitely worked out very well for them extending it all the way into May. I wouldn't expect to see it, off the bat go until May 3rd, but might see it a little bit longer next year.
Definitely does seem to be a new trend, where people love the festivals. That I think they're realizing we might as well take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Disney's moving Food and Wine back to a start in July, and Flower and Garden will barely have ended.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if there's more food options in the park, you can't go wrong, right? So
exactly.
Why not have that go on? I see Randy is asking about the updates on the mask mandate. So right now, I'm glad you asked that, because I did want to bring up a few changes to Universal Orlando. The mask mandate is still the same. Everybody is still required to wear a face covering. However, they have stopped doing temperature checks as you're coming into the resort. And physical distancing has been reduced from 6 feet to 3 feet, which, I mean, seems like it should just be a normal thing all the time, like for everyone. 3 feet is kind of just personal space. Don't stand that close to a stranger. But it is nice that we're seeing some things get changed.
Absolutely. Jenny's over at Hollywood Studios, I believe, today. She wants to make sure that she says hello to you.
Hi, Jenny. Thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying your trip. How good is the food? I'm assuming that we're talking about Mardi Gras. And it was very, very good. They did a really, really great job with the event this year. See if we
One
can
of
see
the
one more. Sorry, Ellen, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's all right. One of the things that I thought was great this year was, the fact that they left those floats out, and everybody could get up close and get a good look at them. Whereas when you see them normally just go by, they're great, but you don't really get to enjoy them.
Yeah, absolutely. It was very cool to get the chance to see them all up close. And also, you don't really think about it, but when you're watching a parade, you're watching it from one side. So you only see half of the float, really. So this allowed you to go walk all the way around the float and see every angle of it, which was really cool.
Good point. Great photo ops and all of that too.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm not
We're
sure I would be
heading.
able to do Mardi Gras in New Orleans, so I probably will have to settle for Mardi Gras at Universal.
Yeah, I will stick to Universal Mardi Gras as opposed to the real thing. Passing by Skull Island, Reign of Kong over here, one of the newer attractions. By newer, I mean within the last, what, 4 or 5 years, something like that at this point. Jeez, that snuck up on me.
Yeah. It feels like things are new and then they're not.
Right, exactly. And it posted 60-minute wait time. So the crowds, like I said, the crowds are manageable, but the wait times are still a little bit up there. And that's mostly because of the operations right now and the way that they're having to do things at the parks, which is still pretty much not changed, aside from those other couple of things that I mentioned earlier.
I think until we get more people vaccinated, it's okay that those things stay in place too,
Yeah. Yeah, everything is very, very manageable right now, which is nice. Yeah, Randy, I'm not planning on making that a trip anytime soon. Paul asked, "Am I going on the new roller coaster?" So we opened up the video talking about Velocicoaster, and I'm still gonna go around and get a closer look at it. I got to ride it during annual pass holder previews on Monday. It is fantastic. It does not actually open up until June 10th. Yesterday was actually the last day of pass holder previews as well, so nobody is riding the attraction today. But I'm guessing because we have a lot of time between now and June 10th, that we might see it open up a little bit here and there before that. So if you're planning a trip here before June 10th, give it a shot. Just walk by, check it out. It might be worth taking a look, see if you can get on the Velocicoaster.
I love when the parks do that surprise, for guests that, they can ride something that they didn't think they could. It's always a bonus.
Absolutely. Uh-oh, Randy says we froze.
Yeah, I just saw that.
I want to point out the T-Rex here, the new photo op that returned, that is back now. And now I will get away from Jurassic Park because for some reason, I guess the T-Rex just eats our service in there all the time. So hopefully we are coming back as I make my way away from Jurassic Park.
That would be good.
All right, looks like Randy said it's back for him, so I think we're all good.
Okay.
Yeah, that T-Rex photo op was there for a long time. It's actually in a brand new spot now. It used to be in a different location on the other end of Jurassic Park. And then it disappeared for the Velocicoaster construction and then just recently came back, I think last week.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's always great when you can see, when you get a new attraction like Velocicoaster, you expect some things to have to disappear. And that really wasn't the case. Everything is still here in Jurassic Park. So always nice when you can add something without subtracting anything.
Right. Absolutely.
By the way, we stopped and looked at this before. I didn't mention this is Dudley Do-Right's Ritzoff Falls. This is one of the two attractions here in Toon Lagoon. And I know with some water attractions, like say maybe like Splash Mountain, something like that, you can come off of that sometimes somewhat dry. We'll say that. That will not be the case with these attractions here. You are guaranteed to be soaked for sure.
Which is great on a hot day, but not always what you want.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you definitely, if you're going to check out these attractions, which if you've never been here before, I highly recommend it. They're both incredibly fun. Prepare for it. Bring some, extra clothes, bring a towel. Be ready to be very wet. What is the crowd capacity at Universal Orlando? That's the question. I'm not sure what the exact number that they are using right now.
I believe it's just around 35%. So I'm not sure what that equates to versus their total capacity, but they're still at that lower end.
Yeah, I was going to say the last number I had heard was 35% as well. That was a while ago. I'm not sure if that's changed at all since, but that's the last number I remember hearing an announcement for. It is getting a little bit dark and windy out here, so hopefully things hold up and we still get away without any really bad weather.
All right, so I just pulled it up and it looks like they're saying they raised their capacity from 25 to 35%, and it's about 7,300 guests per day in Hollywood, in Universal Studios Hollywood, normally 21,000.
Okay. So we are still operating under those numbers then.
Right.
Which seems about right. At least on a weekday, it seems about right. But that's, like I said, on weekends, sometimes now they are hitting capacity. So obviously, just because they're operating at 35% doesn't mean we're at 35%.
Right.
So some days will be different from others for sure. And I should mention too that even when Universal hits capacity, don't let it completely deter you. If you are here and you want to get in for at least a portion of the day, come back later on. They usually open back up. It depends on the day, obviously, but I have a few times now where I've come here later in the day and I've been able to get back in at 4 or 5 o'clock, whatever it may be. So don't get completely discouraged if you see that they hit capacity around, say, like 11 a.m. Uh-oh. All right. That seems ominous.
Well, Randy's saying you got about 15 minutes, Mike, before you get wet.
Maybe I should have just hopped on one of the water rides. I guess it wouldn't have made a difference. And now that I'm over here for Velocicoaster, I don't think we're going to see it testing anytime soon because of that thunder we heard earlier.
Yeah, they probably shut it down.
Yeah. Wanted to give you a closer look at the coaster, though. My two absolute favorite parts of this, and they're not really surprised. You kind of tell from just looking up all the way across the lagoon. This right here, the top hat, is absolutely incredible. You launch up into that, and you just hit a moment of, complete pause. Really, you're just hovering above the rest of the park, which is really, really cool. And then this roll right here, which is being referred to as the Mosasaur roll, is really, really awesome as well. Just a very different experience on a coaster. And like I said, without shoulder restraints, it's one of those things that it doesn't seem like it should be possible, but somehow it is. And they made it work, and it's really, really cool.
That's amazing.
So again, June 10th for Velocicoaster. Definitely looking forward to being able to ride this on a normal basis as opposed to just the pass holder previews.
It's definitely exciting to have a new ride.
Absolutely. Anytime you get a new attraction at any of these parks, it's always very exciting. All right, I'm going to head back to the main path of the park here, and we're going to cautiously make our way back towards the front of the park, being prepared to duck into a store at any given moment.
Looks like everyone else is doing the same thing. Where did everybody go?
Yeah. Well, this is one of those hidden gems in this park. This Fleet Haven area back behind Popeye and Bluto's Bilge Rat barges. Like nobody knows about this area. That's why it's always empty back here. So I love getting back there, not only with things like Velocicoaster, but just to kind of escape the crowd for a little bit and get a nice view.
Those are the hidden gems, right, Mike? You got to know where they are in every park.
Absolutely. And this park has quite a few of them too. It's I really love the way that they built this park because it is your typical, just a circle around a lagoon, you know, your normal theme park layout. But then they have these, you know, off the beaten path kind of trails that you can explore.
It's always fun with the kids too, you know, just to have them feel like they're being adventurers and they go off and find something that seems like no one else knows about.
Absolutely. And one of the areas of this park, Camp Jurassic, back over in Jurassic Park, which actually just recently reopened. It was closed because it's a very high touch point. It's a kid play area, more or less. And that is like one of the coolest areas in any theme park. It's so well themed, and like you said, like the kids really feel like it's you know, they're adventurers. They're exploring a brand new you know, untouched land where it's just like it doesn't feel like you're in a theme park at that point. It's really cool.
They've done their job well there.
Absolutely. Now, going back to the question we had before, sandwiches, yes. Blondie's is one of my favorite lunch places here in this park. Going back to the question we had before about is Toon Lagoon like Toontown, as you can see, it's similar. It's kind of the same aesthetic, but the characters are obviously very different. You have your typical like newspaper comic strip characters all throughout this land, which is really cool. What do the kids like most in the area? Assuming we're talking about the Camp Jurassic thing, that's a good question. I'm actually not sure. I can tell you my favorite part, which is like there's like a rope. I don't know. It's like a rope bridge that kind of goes over these like caverns that. What's the word? They don't erupt. They, you know, like a geyser, I guess. That's a really cool experience. You're like going through the mines and stuff. So it's a really, really cool experience. I don't have any kids to speak for, so I do know that the children absolutely love running around there, playing on. There are slides and things like that. So I am a big kid. There's no question about that.
Yeah, I think that the kids just love being able to run a little. You know, they go from, you know, attraction to attraction, but they do a lot of standing. So having those opportunities to just get a little energy out is always important.
Yes, definitely.
But I think, you know, you're saying you're a big kid. I think we're all big kids when we get down to the parks, aren't we?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, how can you not be? Oh, look at that. Nice plug for me there. I promise I didn't type that comment myself. It wasn't me. But that is my podcast about Marvel. If you're a big Marvel fan like me, you can check that out.
I am gonna definitely spread the word on that, Mike. I've got huge Marvel fans in my family.
That is awesome. I appreciate that. You can hear the announcement being made right now. Now, this announcement, they just said maintain social distancing. They didn't actually say a distance. The one as you're entering from the parking garages says 3 feet, as opposed to the normal 6 feet, what it's been, since it's reopened. Now, because I'm here, Helen, I have to ask you, what is your favorite attraction in any theme park?
I'm a
Put me on the spot.
Oh yeah. I have this classic side of me where the first thing that popped into my mind was Haunted Mansion. But the second thing right behind it was the Guardians of the Galaxy out in Disneyland.
Very nice.
Yeah, those two just kind of popped right into I've never really been good at listing favorites. I'm a fan of so many.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. That's a tough question. I mean, like for me, people ask me what's my favorite park, and that's always my answer is just whatever one I'm at. So, but my favorite attraction, the answer that I can stick to consistently, this right here, Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. It's amazing. It's an amazing attraction. It really set the stage for a lot of the later attractions that we've seen since then. Things like Rise of the Resistance really clearly took inspiration from things like Amazing Spider-Man or the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. So yeah, that's my favorite. Plus, it helps that I'm a huge Marvel nerd. So.
Of course, yeah. No, that will be on the list to visit next time I get back there.
The umbrella is not holding up very well with the wind that keeps coming and going right now.
It does look windy.
What is my favorite part about Toon Lagoon? Popeye and Bluto's Drop Barges is my favorite water-based attraction anywhere. One of the most fun attractions, period. You're not going to come off of that thing. One, you're not going to come off of it dry. And two, you're not going to come off of it without having laughed hysterically because it is just so much fun, especially if you have a big enough group where you're taking up most of the boat and you can just kind of laugh at your friends and family as they get soaked while you stay dry.
Well, that's all we're asking for on an attraction or a ride, right? Is that
right? Exactly.
Feel like that when we come off. That's awesome.
So we are making our way out of Islands of Adventure right now. We're going to head out to City Walk.
Awesome.
And check out those two stores that I mentioned earlier.
You have a favorite restaurant out there?
Ooh, that's a very good question. If we're talking in this park, the answer has to be Mythos. If you're looking for a sit-down table service experience, that is one of the best in any theme park. The theming is incredible. It's just a really, really beautiful restaurant. If we are including City Walk, there are so many good options out there. That's where it gets really tough to pick.
Okay.
Toothsome Chocolate Emporium is definitely one of them. Cowfish. There's a bunch of great ones out there. I figured we will get out of the rain for just a few seconds as we make our way out of the park and cut through the gift shop here.
Awesome.
Antojitos, yes, Jess is right. Antojitos is another very, very good restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Figured I'd take a peek at some Velocicoaster merchandise here.
That's fun.
I think it's this shirt here that has, here it is. That has all of the the specs on the coaster itself. So like 0 to 50 miles per hour in 3 seconds. 1G max acceleration, 70-mile-per-hour boost in 2.4 seconds. 80-degree, 140-foot drop. This is that top hat we saw. Yeah, it's like I said too. This stuff makes it seem like a very intense coaster, and I came off of it not feeling like that was the case. It's as fun as some of those intense coasters, but it's not as jarring and painful, I guess, for lack of a better word, as some other coasters.
I love hearing that. That makes me happy.
Yeah, definitely. If you are somebody who can tolerate any coaster, really, it's worth trying, because I like I said, I think a lot of people are going to get scared off thinking it's a very intense coaster, and it's just not.
I think it's the height for a lot of people as well. 150 feet in the air. Just hearing that makes you think, maybe not.
Yeah, that's another thing too. I mean, if you have a fear of heights, obviously that will restrict the attractions you go on in general. And it is just that one part where it's just as you're coming over that top hat that you are at a height that would really bother anyone, I think. So it is just one quick moment if you can get past that, but
Right.
also totally understandable that some people just don't like attractions like that.
Right. The people that love the speed will love it because going 70 miles an hour is pretty cool.
Right. And if you don't like that kind of attraction, that's when you just go ride Spider-Man again and again.
There you go. There's something for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we're leaving Islands of Adventure. Right behind the lighthouse here. And again, you can see Helen's email address on the screen there. If you are interested, if you're excited about VelociCoaster now and you want to get out here, you can get in contact with Helen. You can set up your next Universal Orlando vacation.
Absolutely. It would be my pleasure. We always have lots of fun planning trips to Universal and that area.
Yeah, there's so much to do out here that, I mean, you got to get out here and experience it for yourself. There's just so many great fun things to do. And there is the Toothsome Chocolate Emporium. Like I said, one of my favorite restaurants here. We got Hard Rock Cafe. We got Margaritaville right in front of me here.
That's always fun.
Yeah, there's lots of great options. There you go, from the Space Coast to the Gulf Coast. We got you covered. Which I just spent the weekend out on the Gulf Coast, and I gotta say, it's beautiful. There's so many awesome towns out there with so much to do. The beach is great. If you're a beach person, absolutely look into the Gulf Coast. It's fantastic.
I'm originally from the coast, and all of the people that I grew up with go to the Gulf Coast because it reminds them of home. And I've yet to be there, so I'm gonna have to check.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. All right, so we got two stores that I wanted to check out here. And I'll kind of keep it a little bit brief, at least, because I don't want to go too deep into them and potentially lose service. But we've got the Universal store to my left over here, and we've got the Universal Legacy store to my right. Which one do you think we should go check out first?
I think the new one.
Well, that narrows it down to both of them. Let's go to the Universal Studios store. By the way, if you've never seen City Walk at night, this place is a party. Obviously, things are a little bit limited right now, but they have live music performing on the stage here. You can get drinks and any one of these bars around here. Lots of fun here at City Walk at night. So, all right, we're gonna head into the Universal Studios store. I'm gonna come down to this entrance over here because that's where all the Harry Potter stuff is, and that's where they have some new merchandise that came with this store when it opened just a few weeks ago.
Oh, great.
So let's pop in here. First, I love this chandelier that they have up here. Reminds me a lot of the floating candles.
Oh, that's cool.
And then they have all of these sort of like home decor and home goods that are Harry Potter themed here. Like I said, came out when this store opened.
Very fun.
These guys, I don't know if you can really see with the glare here, but they're glasses for all of the houses. So that's a Ravenclaw glass right there. Here's a Gryffindor one and a Hufflepuff one.
Fun.
And then, of course, you can still find all of your other Harry Potter merchandise that you can find anywhere in the park. So let's say you are wanting to get a specific Harry Potter item and the parks are closed and you can't get all the way back over to Diagon Alley. On your way out here, you can stop at the Universal Studios store and pick up whatever it is you're looking for.
I love that. There's always one thing that someone wanted to get but didn't, and you know, we've done some crazy things to find out how to get things inside the park. So this is
Right.
nice.
So here is the wand area. So just like when you go into Ollivanders or any of the other stores that have wands, you can find all of the wands built into the wall here.
Oh. Wow.
And then leaving the Harry Potter area, of course, we've got some candy. Got a whole candy wall over here. Just so kids can keep the sugar rush going as they're leaving the park.
Can't have any drops. You gotta keep it all level.
Right. We've got the retro Universal Orlando or Universal Studios line here.
Those are fun.
Yeah, I mean, I love this windbreaker. It's so 90s and just perfect homage to the when the park opened. So again, all of the same stuff that you'll find in, like, say, the Universal Studios store in Universal Studios Florida, or like the shop we were just in when we were leaving Islands of Adventure. But it's just nice to have a big, nice new location where you can find it all on your way out. And then, of course, some other stuff that you won't find in other places, like the Harry Potter items that we were looking at before. There are also some graphic T-shirts here as well. Like, this is one of my favorites right here.
That's great.
So yeah, lots of really cool stuff here. And of course, when you're coming in the first entrance, if you were to come in from the garages, the first entrance here greets you with your Velocicoaster merchandise.
That's fun. I have a big dinosaur aficionado in my family. My firstborn knew the name of every dinosaur by her 5th birthday and had them everywhere. We had all kinds of dinosaur stuff. She is totally like dying to get down there to see this ride.
I love that. That's awesome. So that is the new Universal Studios store. And again, if you're coming in the main entrance to City Walk here, you'll be coming in from here. and this will be right here on your right. You can't miss it. They got that giant globe floating over your head there.
That's great.
And then Universal Studios Florida is down there. You can see the big arches. And then Islands of Adventure is straight ahead of me here. So we're going to drift to the left a little bit and head into the Legacy store. And we did a City Walk video a while back now. You can go back and check that out for all the fun that City Walk offers. Here is Antojitos, one of the restaurants mentioned earlier. Really, really cool, beautiful building. Really, really great Mexican food. So if you like Mexican, there you go. Even in front of that too, we've got Hot Dog Hall of Fame, which is a great quick service restaurant, which actually I'm going to come take a peek at. I don't know if we ever really took a good look at it. If you just want something quick, they have hot dogs themed to different cities across the country, and they're actually themed like a baseball stadium here. So it's basically any stadium or any city that has a major baseball team and a signature hot dog, I suppose. So
oh my gosh, that's great.
You can see it's made like the baseball field down here. You have a big Jumbotron, but they actually have the Yankees and Astros game on here right now, which is really cool. And then they have seating like you would find at those stadiums.
That is great.
So, even just a quick dining experience where you can go in and grab a hot dog. I love that they knocked it out of the park, pun intended. All right, so like I said, now here is the Universal Legacy store. And what the whole idea to this is just all of the history. I mean, Universal knows that there's a lot of us theme park nerds out there that love every last detail of the park from, our first visit back in the 90s or whenever you may have been here last. So they kept everything and they put it on display for us all here. And there's lots of merchandise themed to old attractions and things like that. And lots of props and stuff in here to see. So let's take a look around. This is a recent addition, just in the last month or so, and it's just a really, really cool touch to add to City Walk.
That's really neat.
So I mean, right off the bat here, you've got stuff from like the Alfred Hitchcock. You can see an image of Confrontation up there. Here they are looking over the land before anything was even built.
That's really neat.
We've got a Doom bot from Dr. Doom's Fearful. Lots of Jaws props, which is, they won me over with this right here because Jaws was one of my all-time favorite attractions, one of my all-time favorite movies. So having this stuff here is just so cool.
That is very cool.
Did you get to experience the Jaws attraction when you were here?
I did not. My kids were really little when we were there. So,
it was a terrifying attraction, that's for sure. So that makes sense.
I remember being a little terrified after seeing the movie. So
that's also very fair.
Like I said earlier, I grew up at the ocean, and the timing of that was not great for me.
So some Back to the Future merchandise here for the classic attraction. They've got the Proton Packs, if there's any Ghostbusters fans out there. And just so many cool, there's a really cool ET detail back. Well, I can't even really say it's a detail, it's just straight up ET. So there he is.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's great.
We got some stuff from Revenge of the Mummy back here as well. So not only attractions that have since been closed, but attractions that are open now that are absolute fan favorites as well. Coming around back here. Also, that's I don't know if you can how well you can hear it, but they even theme the music in here to some of the class attractions. Like right now, they have the Terminator 2 music playing, which is really cool.
Oh, yeah, I'm not really hearing that, but that's really cool.
So they have a model here from Hogsmeade, the Wizarding World, where you can see Hogwarts, and then I believe this is Flight of the Hippogriff right here. That would make sense, yeah.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, really, really cool stuff for us theme park nerds who want to see how all of this gets made. They even have Hagrid's motorbike out here.
Wow.
And this was made, this is a replica made for the opening weekend of the celebration of Harry Potter that they used to do here. And I would imagine we'll be coming back when things get back to normal operations.
Yeah, I hope so. Definitely things will be changing, but you hope they bring back the good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't seen this. Oh, this is the Goblet of Fire. Okay.
That's cool.
And speaking of Terminator, we've got Arnold's jacket over here.
That's great. It's like a museum and a store all in one.
Yeah, it really is. There's so many awesome props in here. Rob, which model is that? You want this right here? You want the Arnold? I'm assuming you were talking about one of the Harry Potter, either the Goblet of Fire or maybe the Hogwarts. Those are really.
I think it was Hogwarts.
Yeah. So yeah, that is the Universal Legacy Store. In my opinion, a really, really awesome addition to City Walk. This was the location for the normal Universal Studios store until they moved across the way over here. I'm not sure if this is the permanent plan for this location here. I kind of hope it is. I love the addition, but we'll see. I'm not sure how long this will be here.
Oh, that's really cool. I hope it stays as well.
And yeah, just points out that Goblet of Fire from the Dragon Challenge queue, which was a really, really awesome queue as well. So unfortunately, that's not there anymore. But one of those things that we were talking about earlier, whenever you add new things to a park like this, you typically have to remove something. And that made way for Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure. So I am completely okay with that because that's an amazing attraction.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to end down here with just a nice look over the lagoon.
And some clear skies.
Yeah, of course, now that we're going to wrap things up, this is when the sun comes out. But yeah, Universal Studios Florida to my right, Islands of Adventure to my left. Helen, thank you again for joining me for a fun walk around the park.
Thank you. This was great.
I'm not entirely sure where we will be next week. We've done, over the last 3 weeks, we've done SeaWorld, which Helen was with me for. We did Universal Studios Florida last week. We did Islands of Adventure today. Not sure where we're going to be next week. We will let you know, like we normally do, at least a day in advance. And we'll get out to do something fun. And then again, you got Helen's email address right on there. So if you want to book your next Universal Orlando Resort vacation, Helen can help you out. Just reach out to her via email. If you have any more generic questions, you can always head over to d2travel.com or send us an email at info@d2travel.com.
Absolutely. This was great. And I'm definitely going to be checking out your podcast. Thanks for that information.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for watching, Randy. Thanks for watching, everyone, for taking a walk around Island of Adventure and City Walk with us. And like I said, keep an eye out for next week's video as well. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe wherever you're watching. We are on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. So follow us on all the social medias. And again, thanks everyone. And we'll
Have
see
a
you next
great
week.
day.
Bye.
Bye.